The night was quiet on the edge of the human colony. The stars above were bright, scattered like diamonds on black velvet. People were finishing their daily work, lights were dimming, and silence was spreading through the metal streets. But then, the ground trembled. A deep rumble rolled across the sky, growing louder and louder. Everyone lifted their heads in shock. Something was falling from space, burning like fire. A blazing ship tore through the clouds and crashed into the wastelands outside the colony, sending waves of dust into the air. The alarm siren screamed. Guards rushed to their posts, and the people gathered in fear. Some thought it was a meteor. Others whispered it was an attack. But the truth was stranger. From the broken wreck, shadows began to move. Figures stepped out slowly, glowing faintly in the dust-filled night. The guards pointed their weapons, fingers trembling. What came out of the ship was not a monster, not a soldier, but girls. They were tall and slender, their skin shining pale under the moonlight. Their eyes glowed with a strange silver light. Their long hair floated as if touched by an invisible wind. But they looked weak, almost dying, each step heavy as if their bodies had no strength left. One of them fell to her knees, her hands pressed on the ground, gasping for air. The crowd gasped, confused and terrified. A guard shouted, "Stay back. Don't move." But the girl raised her trembling head and whispered in broken human words, "Essence. We need human essence." The words spread like fire through the crowd. People murmured in shock, fear growing with every second. What did she mean by essence? Was it blood? Was it life force? Was it something darker? The alien girl tried to stand, but her legs gave out, and another girl rushed to hold her. Their glowing eyes flickered like fading stars. It was clear they were dying. Commander Hayes, the leader of the colony guards, stepped forward. He was a strict man, but even he felt a strange pull as he looked at them. "Who are you? Why are you here?" he demanded. The alien leader, a girl with silver hair reaching her waist, raised her eyes and spoke slowly. "Our people cannot survive without you. Only humans carry the essence. Only the old way can save us." Her voice cracked, and her body trembled violently. The humans froze, unable to understand. The old way, the essence. Nothing made sense. But before they could ask more, the aliens collapsed together, their glowing eyes dimming. The guards lowered their guns in hesitation, unsure whether to treat them as enemies or helpless strangers. Dr. Alera, the colony's medical officer, pushed through the crowd. She knelt beside one alien girl, touching her skin. It was ice cold, her heartbeat almost gone. "They are dying," Alera said firmly. "If we don't do something, they won't last the night." But Commander Hayes shook his head. "Do you hear what they're saying? They need something from us, something dangerous, maybe even deadly." The colonists whispered louder, panic growing. Some wanted to help, others wanted to let them die. Fear and confusion filled the night air. Suddenly, the alien leader grabbed Hayes' wrist with shocking strength. Her silver eyes glowed brighter for a moment, piercing into his soul. "You don't understand. If we die, your world dies too," she whispered. Then her grip weakened, and she collapsed fully, unconscious. The crowd stood frozen in silence. The fire from the crashed ship still burned behind them, painting the sky in orange and red. The air was heavy, filled with smoke, fear, and unanswered questions. No one knew what essence truly meant. No one knew why these alien girls came here. And no one knew whether helping them would save humanity or destroy it. But one thing was certain. This was only the beginning of something far bigger. Something ancient, something dangerous. And the colony would never be the same again. The colony was restless that night. No one slept. No one felt safe. The alien ship's fires still burned in the distance, painting the horizon in red. The alien girls were moved into the medical wing, guarded on all sides, their pale faces glowing faintly under the sterile lights. Children whispered to their parents. Workers gathered in corners. Rumors spread like poison. Some said the aliens were vampires. Others said witches. Some feared they carried disease. But the truth remained hidden, locked inside their fragile bodies. Dr. Alera worked without pause. She scanned their blood, checked their organs, searched for answers in the strange rhythms of their hearts. The results made no sense. Their bodies looked human in many ways, yet their cells were starving, collapsing. They were not dying of wounds or infection. They were dying of absence. It was as if something vital, something invisible, was missing from them, and that missing element was only found in humans. Commander Hayes entered the lab, his boots echoing against the metal floor. His eyes were sharp, his voice steady. "Doctor, give me answers. What do they want from us?" Alera looked at him with tired eyes. "They don't need food. They don't need water. They don't even need medicine. Their bodies are crying out for energy, but not the kind we understand. It is something living, something inside us, something they call essence." As if summoned by her words, the alien leader stirred. Her silver eyes opened slowly, glowing faintly in the dim light. She tried to sit up, her voice a whisper, fragile but steady. "You want truth, you will have it. We are not invaders. We are not here to harm. Long ago, before your world forgot us, we lived with humans. We shared life together, a bond, an exchange. It gave us strength. And in return, we gave you protection against enemies that you never even saw. But the bond was broken, the memory lost. Now our kind is dying, and only you can save us." Hayes clenched his fists. "You expect us to believe you? You fall from the sky. You beg for something you can't explain, and you expect us to just obey." The alien leader's eyes flickered with sorrow. "We do not beg, Commander, we demand. If we perish, the shadows waiting beyond your stars will come, and your people will not survive them." Her words cut deep. The guards shifted uncomfortably. Whispers filled the room. Alera leaned closer, her curiosity stronger than her fear. "What exactly is this essence? What must be done?" The alien girl raised her trembling hand and pointed at the nearest human. Her voice was soft but heavy with meaning. "It is your life force, your core energy, not your blood, not your flesh, but the spark that makes you human. It can only be shared through the old way, the ancient ritual of touch and breath. Without it, we fade. With it, we live." Gasps spread through the humans. Was it safe? Was it deadly? Was it a trick? One guard spat angrily. "They just want to feed on us like parasites." But another, younger guard whispered, "If they speak truth, maybe we owe them. Maybe they're here to protect us." Hayes stared at the alien leader in silence, his mind torn. Every instinct told him to reject her, to keep his people safe. But her eyes, glowing silver, held something he could not explain, desperation mixed with honesty. She was not a monster. She was fragile, near death. And yet, her words carried a weight that could not be ignored. Finally, Alera stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. "I will do it. I will give them what they need. If they die, we lose nothing but time. If they live, we may learn the truth. And if they lie, then at least we will know what they truly are." The room went silent. Hayes wanted to refuse, but he saw the determination in Alera's eyes. The alien leader nodded weakly. Her glowing hand reached toward Alera, hovering inches away. The air itself seemed to grow heavier. The lights flickered. The machines beeped wildly. Something ancient was waking between them. Something neither human nor alien fully understood. Everyone held their breath. And in that moment, the fate of both species balanced on a single touch. The medical wing was filled with silence. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the alien leader and Dr. Alera. Her glowing hand hovered inches above the doctor's chest. No one dared to breathe. No one dared to speak. Then, slowly, the alien girl pressed her palm against Alera's skin. A soft hum filled the air, like distant music echoing from another world. Silver light spread across the alien's veins, pulsing like liquid fire. Alera gasped, her body shivering as warmth drained from her chest. It was not painful, it was not violent. It felt like something invisible was being drawn out. Her energy, her life force, her essence. The alien's eyes blazed brighter, her pale face flushing with color for the first time since the crash. Her breath returned strong and steady, her body alive again. Gasps filled the room. The guards raised their weapons in panic. "Stop it! She's killing her," one shouted. But Alara raised her hand weakly, shaking her head. "No, she's not. It feels strange, but not deadly. It's like she's drinking life from me, not blood." Her words calmed some, but suspicion remained in every corner of the room. When the ritual ended, the alien leader released Alara and fell back. Her body was stronger, her voice clear. She bowed her head and whispered, "You see now, the old way is not destruction, it is balance. You gave, I lived, and yet you still live. This is how our people once survived together. Humans and my kind were bound. We protected each other, we shared life." The colonists murmured in disbelief. Was this true? Could such a connection have existed in forgotten history? Hay stepped forward, his eyes narrowed. "Even if what you say is real, why should we believe you? Why should we risk ourselves for you?" The alien leader's silver eyes darkened. "You think this is about risk?" "No, Commander, this is about survival. The shadows are coming. The hunger of the void grows stronger. Without us, you will be consumed. Without you, we will fade into dust. Together we stand, apart we fall." Her words were heavy, carried with the weight of prophecy. But still, humans were not convinced. One colonist shouted, "They are using us. Look how they drain our doctor. Tomorrow they will drain us all dry." Fear rippled through the crowd. Even Alara, though alive, felt weakened, her knees trembling as if she had run for hours. The rituals saved the alien, but what would happen if more were done? Would humans collapse? Would they die? The alien girls stirred from their beds, their silver eyes glowing faintly as they watched. One younger alien whispered in her fragile voice, "We do not wish harm. We only wish to live. But if you refuse us, then we will all die. And when we are gone, you will face the darkness alone." The room fell quiet again. Hayes clenched his jaw, torn between duty and instinct. He wanted to protect his people, yet something in his heart told him the aliens were not lying. The sincerity in their eyes was not the gaze of parasites. It was the gaze of survivors. Alara, still weak but standing tall, turned to the commander. "You saw it yourself. Hayes, this was not an attack. This was a plea. If we deny them, we deny ourselves. Maybe this is why they came to us. Maybe this is not chance, but destiny." The alien leader placed her hand on her heart, her glowing hair falling around her shoulders. "We call it the ancient ritual, the bond of life. Once humans and my people shared it freely. Now, it is forgotten, but it is the only way forward. We do not ask, we remember, and we remind you that you are not alone in this galaxy. The choice is yours. Restore the bond, or watch both our worlds die." Outside the medical wing, the colony remained restless. People argued in the streets, torn between fear and hope. Some whispered that the aliens brought danger. Others whispered that they brought salvation. But deep within the stars, something stirred. A darkness watching, waiting, hungry. The humans did not yet see it, but the aliens could feel it. The ritual was not only for survival. It was preparation for the war that was coming. And so, the ancient ritual was revealed, not as a legend, not as a myth, but as a choice that would decide the fate of both species. And already, the clock of destiny had begun to tick. The colony was divided. Some believed the aliens, others demanded their removal. Every corner of the settlement echoed with arguments, whispers, and fear. The words essence and ritual had spread like wildfire. No one understood it fully, but everyone felt its weight. Inside the council hall, Commander Hayes stood before a restless crowd. Dr. Alara beside him, still weak but determined. The alien leader and her companions sat quietly, their glowing eyes watching with calm patience. It was clear they could not wait any longer. Without another ritual, they would soon fade again. Hayes's voice was sharp. We cannot risk our lives for what we don't understand. One attempt does not prove safety. We need evidence. We need control. The colonists murmured, their fear rising. But Alara stepped forward, her voice firm. Then let us test it, one more time, with a willing human. If they survive, we have proof. If not, then we will know the truth. Silence followed. No one moved. No one dared to step forward. The idea of giving away their life force to an alien terrified them. But then, from the back of the hall, a young man walked into the circle. His name was Daniel, a farmer's son, broad-shouldered, brave, but quiet. He looked at Hayes, then at the alien leader, and finally at Alara. "I'll do it," he said simply. Gasps filled the room. Whispers broke out. "Are you mad?" someone shouted. But Daniel stood tall, his face steady. "If no one steps forward, we will never know. I would rather face truth than live in fear." The alien leader rose to her feet, her silver hair glowing softly in the dim light. She moved toward Daniel, her every step graceful but heavy with meaning. Her voice was calm, almost soothing. "You are brave, human. Do not fear. I will take only what I need. You will feel it, but you will not be broken." They stood in the center of the hall, all eyes fixed on them. The alien raised her hands, hovering them just above Daniel's chest. The room grew colder, the lights flickered, the air thickened. Then, her palms pressed gently against him. A pulse of silver light erupted. Daniel gasped as warmth surged out of his body. It was not pain, but it was overwhelming. His legs trembled, his heart pounded, his breath quickened. He felt as if something deep inside him was being pulled, his very soul. But at the same time, something else flowed back. A strange strength, a clarity, an energy that burned through his veins. The alien's pale face turned bright with life, her glowing eyes sharp and strong. Her body straightened, her breathing steady. She looked alive again, radiant and powerful. Gasps and cries filled the room. "Look, she's healing," someone whispered. But at the same time, Daniel collapsed to his knees. The guards rushed forward, but Alara raised her hand, stopping them. "Wait, look at him." Daniel's chest rose heavily, but his eyes opened wide. Not weak, not broken. He looked stronger, his pupils glowing faintly as if touched by the same light. He whispered, I can feel it. She took something, yes, but she also gave me something. I feel more alive than before." The colonists froze in shock. The ritual was not simple feeding. It was an exchange, a cycle of giving and receiving. Balance, just as the alien had said. The alien leader stepped back, bowing her head toward Daniel. "You carry courage, and now we carry hope. This is the first exchange, the proof of our bond. One human can save one of us. Together, many humans can save an entire world." But Hayes was still cautious. He turned to Daniel, his voice sharp. "Are you sure you're unharmed?" Daniel stood, his legs steady now. He clenched his fists, feeling the strength rushing inside him. "I'm fine, Commander, more than fine. If this is what it takes to survive, I would do it again." The crowd erupted in arguments. Some shouted in anger. "They will drain us all." Others cried out in hope. "This could save us. This could unite us." Fear and faith clashed in the air. But one truth was now undeniable. The ritual worked. As the hall descended into chaos, the alien leader's glowing eyes turned toward the stars above. Her voice a whisper that only Alara heard. "This is only the beginning, for the shadows are already moving. And soon, all of humanity will have to decide, to share their essence or to perish in darkness."
The colony was no longer quiet. The first exchange had changed everything. What people had seen with their own eyes could not be denied. The alien girl had lived, the human volunteer had survived, but instead of bringing peace, it had torn the colony apart. In the streets, people shouted in anger. Some demanded that the aliens be expelled immediately. "They will bleed us dry." A man shouted, his voice shaking with fear. Others argued that the aliens were a gift, a chance for survival. "Did you not see Daniel? He lived, he grew stronger. They are not parasites, They are partners. The arguments grew louder every day. Neighbors turned on neighbors. Families fought among themselves. The colony, once united, was now cracking. Inside the council hall, the atmosphere was no better. Commander Hayes stood before his advisors, his face tense. We cannot allow chaos to destroy us. If these aliens remain, the people will tear themselves apart. Dr. Ilara stepped forward, her voice calm but sharp. And if they die, Commander, we may lose our only chance at survival. I studied Daniel after the ritual. His body did not weaken, it adapted. It grew. The ritual may be dangerous, yes, but it is not a death sentence. It may be the key to something greater. Hayes slammed his fist on the table. Or it may be the key to our extinction. You put too much trust in creatures we barely understand. The alien leader, sitting silently at the edge of the room, finally spoke. Her silver eyes glowed faintly as she said, You fear because you do not remember. Once, humans and my people stood together, but history has erased the truth. Now you think we are enemies when in truth, we are your shield. Her words stirred anger in the council. Shield or leash? One advisor spat. How long before they demand more and more of us? How long before humans become nothing but food for them? The tension thickened. Hayes did not answer, but his silence spoke louder than words. Meanwhile, outside the council, the people gathered in secret groups. One faction called themselves the Protectors of Humanity. They carried weapons and spread fear. They painted messages on walls. No more feeding. Humans first. Another faction, smaller but growing, called themselves the Bonded. They believed the aliens were the future. They whispered about creating new rituals, about becoming stronger together. The colony was becoming two halves of a broken heart. Daniel himself walked through the streets. People stared at him with mixed eyes, some with admiration, others with hatred. He could still feel the strange power the ritual had given him. He felt faster, stronger, more alive, but he also carried guilt. Had he started this divide by stepping forward? Had his choice doomed the peace of the colony? At night, the aliens gathered in their temporary shelter, their glowing eyes dim with worry. One younger girl asked their leader, Why do they fight so much? Why do they hate us? The leader placed her hand gently on the girl's head. Because fear blinds them, they cannot see the truth yet. But soon, they will have no choice. For the darkness is close, and fear alone cannot fight it. Back in the command center, Hayes looked at the stars on the holomap. Strange signals had begun to appear on the edge of their sensors. Unknown ships, moving in patterns too deliberate to be natural. He frowned, his chest heavy with unease. If the aliens spoke truth, if something was coming, then time was running short. The next morning, chaos erupted. A protest turned violent. The Protectors of Humanity stormed through the colony square, chanting, Send the aliens away. Protect our essence. The Bonded clashed with them, shouting back, They are our allies. They are our future. Stones were thrown, blood spilled. The colony guards struggled to hold the two sides apart. Fear had become fire, and fire was spreading fast. From the balcony above, the alien leader watched silently, her silver eyes full of sorrow. She whispered to Ilara, who stood beside her, This is the test of your kind. Will you destroy yourselves in fear, or will you rise with us in trust? For soon, the shadows will arrive, and only unity will keep the light alive. Asterisk, the colony was breaking apart. Each day brought more arguments, more fear, more blood. The aliens grew weaker again, their glowing eyes fading without the ritual. But fewer humans volunteered. Too scared of what they had seen, the Protectors of Humanity grew louder, demanding the aliens be sent away. The Bonded defended them fiercely, believing they were the key to survival. The air was heavy with distrust, as if the whole colony was standing on the edge of a cliff. One night, the alarm screamed. Hayes rushed into the command center, his heart pounding. On the large holoscreen, unknown signals filled the dark edges of space. Not natural, not random. but moving information. Dozens of objects drifting closer, cold and silent. They looked like ships, but wrong shapes twisted, edges broken, like shadows given form. They're here. The alien leader whispered as she entered the room, her face pale but certain. Hayes turned sharply. You knew about this, didn't you? These things, what are they? The alien's voice was low, carrying centuries of sorrow. They are the Voidborn, creatures born from the emptiness between stars. They devour light, consume life, erase worlds. Long ago, they found your galaxy, but we stood in their path. We fought them. We bled for you. And when humans shared their essence with us, we became strong enough to push them back. That was the bond, the alliance of old. But when humans forgot us, when the rituals ended, we weakened. And the Voidborn began to rise again. Gasps filled the room. The council members looked at each other in disbelief. Some whispered that it was a trick, a story to gain sympathy. But Hayes stared at the screen, the strange, silent ships drawing closer. His gut told him this was no lie. Ilara stepped forward, her voice trembling. You're saying, if you die, we have no shield against them? That humanity will be left defenseless? The alien leader nodded slowly. Yes, without the bond, we cannot stand against them. Our bodies are fading. Our strength is gone. But with your essence, with your trust, we can fight once more. We are not here to enslave you. We are here to save you, even if you no longer believe in us. Daniel, standing in the corner, clenched his fists. He remembered the feeling of the ritual, the strange power that had flowed into him. He remembered the strength, the clarity. If the Voidborn were real, if war was coming, maybe that bond was the only weapon humanity had. But the protectors of humanity refused to listen. That's a lie. One of their leaders shouted during the next gathering. They feed on us, they weaken us. Now they invent monsters to scare us into obedience. Do not be fooled. This is how it begins. Today they take our essence. Tomorrow they take our freedom. The crowd erupted in cheers and shouts. Fear and anger boiled together until it felt like the colony itself might explode. That night, Daniel walked through the silent streets. He looked up at the stars, seeing the faint glimmer of the unknown ships on the edge of the sky. He thought about his people, divided and broken. He thought about the aliens, desperate and dying, and he thought about the choice before them all. If the aliens were telling the truth, rejecting them meant death, but if they were lying, trusting them meant slavery. In the medical wing, the alien leader sat with Ilara. She spoke softly, her silver eyes glowing faintly. There is something you must know. The bond does more than keep us alive. It awakens something in humans as well. Your kind has forgotten. But long ago, those who shared essence with us became stronger, faster, sharper, able to see the shadows before they came. That is why Daniel feels different now. He carries the spark of the bond. If more of your people share it, humanity will not only survive, it will rise. Ilara's breath caught in her chest. This was the truth hidden all along. Not slavery, not weakness, but transformation. The aliens were not begging for survival only for themselves. They were offering humanity a chance to evolve, a chance to stand against the coming darkness. But outside, the colony's anger grew louder. The protectors armed themselves, the bonded, prepared to defend, and above them all, in the silent void, the ships of the Voidborn crept closer, shadows waiting to swallow the light. The truth was revealed, but truth alone could not save them. The humans now faced the hardest choice of all, to trust the aliens and share their essence, or to reject them and face the darkness alone, and time was running out. The colony was on the edge of collapse. Two sides stood against each other, the protectors and the bonded. Brothers faced brothers, neighbors faced neighbors. One side carried weapons, shouting to cast the aliens into the desert. The other carried faith, believing the aliens were the only hope. Violence was one spark away. Above them, the sky was no longer calm. The Voidborn ships had drawn closer, dark shapes spreading across the stars like cracks in glass, silent, cold, patient. Their presence pressed down on the colony like a storm waiting to break. In the council hall, the leaders gathered. Commander Hayes paced back and forth, his face lined with exhaustion. We don't have time. If we fight each other, the Voidborn will destroy us before we ever decide. We must choose now. The alien leader stood, her silver eyes glowing with sorrow. We have given you all the truth we can. We cannot force you, but know this. If we fall, humanity falls with us. If you share the bond, we rise together. If you refuse, the shadows will consume you alone. Ilara, still pale but resolute, turned to the humans. I saw what the ritual did. I felt it myself. It does not kill, it transforms. Daniel is proof. I am proof. If we trust them, we gain strength. If we deny them, we stand with empty hands against monsters that do not fear us. The hall erupted in shouts. Some cried for unity, others for resistance. Finally, Hayes slammed his hand on the table, his voice like thunder. Enough. We cannot wait for everyone to agree. The Voidborn are coming. We must act, and we must act now. The choice will be made here. Silence followed. Every eye turned toward him. Every breath hung heavy. He looked at Daniel, standing tall, his eyes faintly glowing from the first ritual. You were the first to step forward, Daniel. Will you do it again? Not for one alien, not for one bond, but for all of us, to prove that humans and aliens can survive together? Daniel felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. He thought of the fear in his people's eyes. He thought of the warmth he felt in the ritual, the strange strength still burning in his blood. He thought of the ships above, silent predators waiting to strike. Finally, he nodded, his voice steady. I will do it. If this is what it takes, if this is what saves us, then let the bond be. Reborn. The alien leader stepped forward. Her companions gathered behind her, their fading light flickering in hope. She placed her hands on Daniel's chest once more. But this time, the others joined, touching his shoulders, his arms, his back. A circle formed, alien and human united. The ritual began. Silver light erupted, brighter than ever before. It spread through Daniel's body, then through the floor, then through the air. The entire hall glowed as if the stars themselves had descended. Humans shielded their eyes, their fear mixing with awe. Daniel cried out, but not in pain, in power. The bond surged through him. His veins burned with fire and light. The aliens' eyes blazed, their bodies renewed. For the first time since their crash, they looked whole, unstoppable, alive outside. The fighting in the streets froze. Both protectors and bonded looked up at the council hall as beams of silver light poured out. The glow touched their skin, their hearts. Some dropped their weapons in awe. Others fell to their knees. They felt it. The bond was real. Not just a story, not just a trick. It was life. It was unity. When the ritual ended, Daniel stood in the center, glowing faintly, his breath heavy but strong. His eyes shone with silver light, his voice deep and steady. They were telling the truth. I feel it. I see it. This bond is not the end of humanity. It is the beginning. The alien leader bowed her head. The bond is reborn. Now we stand together. Now we fight as one. But before relief could settle, the sky above roared. The Voidborn ships finally moved. Dark tendrils spread across the heavens, blotting out the stars. The ground shook. The air grew cold. A voice not of flesh but of shadow echoed across the colony. You cannot escape us. Your light is ours. Your essence belongs to the void. The colonists screamed. The protectors and bonded forgot their war. All eyes turned upward to the nightmare descending upon them. For the first time, humans and aliens stood side by side. The final choice had been made, but the true battle had only just begun.